Hi, my name is Jamie, and my channel is primarily about lucid dreaming, astral projection, and out-of-body experiences. But for this video, which is a take 2 of a video that I did earlier, I'm going to be sharing 3 stories that would be sort of classified as ghost stories. I want to apologize for this take 2 video. In all honesty, making videos and putting yourself out there is such a tricky thing, and I am incredibly critical, so overly critical of myself, and I posted the video, and in my human nature I decided that it was not good enough and I deleted it. I am very critical of what I put out there, and I'm usually I try to be polished, and anyways, I know for a fact if I don't remake this video, it won't be good for me. And so for my subscribers, I apologize for that confusion, but I will get through these 3 stories for you because it is important for me to do that. So anyways, the 3 stories I wanted to tell, like I said, are kind of ghost stories in a way. You know, when you start practicing astral projection and lucid dreaming, I mean, as you probably know, you see a lot of things, but most of the time it's usually either I have been asleep and I have woken up and seen something, or I'm having a false awakening and seeing something. But I've been recently thinking about the times where I've just started awake and ended awake and saw something. And so I thought I would mention a few of these that I thought was interesting. And really, I would love any thoughts that you have on them, because all 3 of them baffle me a bit, and I would love to hear other people's perspectives on them. So the first one is I was watching TV one night, and all of a sudden, a very, very loud sound was there. And it wasn't from outside, it wasn't from in my head, it was in the room. And what it was a very, very loud electronic sound, kind of like a frequency change, kind of like gears. And it had sort of a jabbering, talking robot effect to it that was really, really quite frightening, honestly. I still get a little I don't know why this one kind of creeped me out. And it was very loud, and it took over the entire room. And I jumped out of the chair, and I ran to the bedroom and put my head under the covers. And I didn't even brush my teeth that night. I really didn't. I just went straight to bed. I have no clue what that was, and I've always looked back on it with just such confusion. So anyways, that's my first story. My second story involves when I was at a hotel, and I am pretty notorious for getting up and down all the time, frankly. And in this hotel, I had gotten a drink of water, and it was about maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went to lay down, and I was laying towards my husband, facing him. And as I'm facing him, I feel, and I hadn't even gone to sleep, I was wide awake, I feel a tap, tap, tap on my shoulder. And it was clear as day. And I thought, oh man. And so I just sort of shrugged it off. But then it happened again. Tap, tap, tap. And at the second time it happened, I had to just resign myself to the fact that here was probably a ghost in this hotel room that was trying to get my attention. And that's remarkable to think about. So what I did was I sat up and I kind of whispered, you know, I respect that you're here, and I respect that I'm here, but I really would like to just go back to sleep. Thank you. And I did, and I went back to sleep, and it never happened again. And I always look back on this experience as a real hallmark to my fear, facing my fears, because if that had happened even a year before, I would have been so scared out of my mind. So anyways, And the third story is just something that happened just recently. And what happened was I was getting my water and I had come back to bed and laid down and I had barely closed my eyes. I mean, I had just shut them when I heard my son say, "Mom." And, in that split second, I thought to myself, oh man, he's awake. And when I opened my eyes, I expected to see him standing right there staring at me, which happens, occasionally. But he wasn't there. And from my vantage point in our bedroom, I could see directly into our bathroom. And in the doorway of the bathroom, there was an orb of white light hovering. And it was kind of like pulsing a little bit. And the whole experience only lasted for maybe a solid second. But I saw it and I registered it. And then it just went out. It kind of blipped out. It almost felt like it went kind of out like that, and it was gone. And I just always, it's been a few weeks, but I just immediately thought of my son and how I had heard him say my name, say Mom, and how that may have been him traveling. I know that I've seen orbs countless times. And every time I see them, I just cannot help but think they're watching me. So it's interesting, and there's been a number of people actually on this channel that have mentioned that that's how we look when we are traveling. And so for me, this was a bit of a validation on that as well, and super interesting. So I would love to hear any thoughts anybody has on these stories. I just think that it's really important to stay transparent and grounded in these things because they happen. It's just the way it is. And so anyways, thank you for listening to this video, and I will talk to you later.